Welcome back to your news, Beaufort. Last week, the ranking member of our federal delegation, Senator Lindsey, gave the keynote address at the State of the Region down on Hilton Head Island. After his appearance, the senator made himself available to us at Beaufort County's Republican campaign headquarters, and he literally let me ask him anything. I chose to ask the senator about his position on immigration reform, the status of our prisoners that we're holding indefinitely in Guantanamo Bay, and the possibility of a presidential run. Here's our talk. We're joined now by our senior senator for the state of South Carolina, Lindsey. Senator, thank you for being on with me.
Thank you for having me.
Senator, I'm hoping to ask you about immigration reform.
Right.
Talk to me about what you can do with the majority in the Senate.
Okay. Immigration has 4 parts to it. You got to secure your border, because if you don't, they'll just walk across the street, and I'm worried about terrorism. If you don't clamp down on illegal hiring, you'll never fix the problem, but you got to expand your legal workforce. Believe it or not, there are a lot of jobs you can't get Americans to do. Service industry, farming, I want it to be a win-win. As to the 11 million, some have been here for decades. Felons, not welcome. Troublemakers, not welcome. As to the others who have children and grandchildren here, you can stay on our terms. Immigration reform is an economic imperative because we're running low on workers.
Yes, sir.
Is a national security imperative, and I think it's a cultural imperative, and I want to work with the House and the Senate to fix it. I am tired of talking about it. I want to fix it.
On this program, our Congressman Mark Sanford from the 1st espoused support for a DREAM Act coming out of the right side of the aisle.
Okay,
What can you do for her?
That's a good place to start. Kids that came here young by their parents, you know, as babies, this is the only home they know. They've gone to high school here. This is their home. I'm willing to give them a chance at citizenship, so I'll be fair to the DREAM Act kids if the Democrats will help us increase legal immigration and secure the border. If they'll join the military, we can expedite citizenship, but giving them a chance at legal status and eventual citizenship, I think is good for our country, only if it's part of a bigger deal to make sure that 20 years from now, we don't have 11 million more. I want to fix it forever. I'm not looking for a short-term solution.
Speaking to status of citizenship as well, and basically rights of status, you did a great job on the Judiciary Committee with regards to litigating how we're holding people in Guantanamo Bay. Help me understand how we've held them for more than a decade and how history will look upon us for it.
Okay, I believe we're at war. The enemy is not a nation state, but radical Islamists, members of Al-Qaeda, ISIL, and other terrorist groups. When we capture those people, they should be held as enemy combatants under the law of war. Trying them is not required. We should hold them under the law of war as long as necessary to gather intelligence about future activity and to make sure they don't go back to the battlefield. If you want to try them, you can do it in military court or federal court. Both courts work well, but my goal is when we capture a terrorist is to hold them and find out what information they may have about future attacks. Criminal law will not allow you to do that. We're not fighting a crime, we're fighting a bunch of killers who are radical Islamists who want to destroy our way of life, and when we capture them, they should go to Gitmo, they should be held under the law of war and interrogated for intelligence purposes.
But no time frame in terms of when we might prosecute?
Tell me when the war is over and I'll release them. We don't know when the war is going to end, but we know this: 30% of the people we've let go from Gitmo have gone back to the fight. Trading these 5 Taliban for the American soldier, I think, was a bad deal. The people at Gitmo have gone to federal court. The federal judge has said, yes, the government has made a case, you're a part of a terrorist group. I have no desire to let them go anytime soon as long as they represent a threat to our country. If you're thinking about joining Al-Qaeda, don't, because you can get killed or captured.
One thing I'm curious about as a senator, are you aware of the CIA's use of black sites, and is that something common? That's a practice where you take someone that we have captive, take them to a country that's not under our control, and then
under the law of war, you're not supposed to do that. I've been a military lawyer for 32 years. I'm not into torturing people. We're the good guys, and I think the way you win the war on terror is you hold yourself to a higher standard and you show the world there's a better way than cutting somebody's head off. I've been a military lawyer. I believe in the Geneva Convention. These people are not part of the Geneva Convention, but they need to be treated within our values to prevent the next attack.
Senator, you've worked very hard for this. You're coming into very likely a majority in your Senate.
Yes.
Would you consider a go-at leader? Would you go after that?
I will vote for Mitch McConnell. I think he'd be a good leader. I want to take these defense cuts, cuts to the CDC, the NIH, and replace them with other cuts, and we're gutting our military at the time we need it the most. Marine Corps Air Station Beaufort is important to South Carolina and the nation. I want to build more F-35s, and if we don't replace these defense cuts, we won't be able to do that. My party has drifted away from the Ronald Reagan strong military peace through strength model. I want to get my party back into the Ronald Reagan mode. To run for president, you go through hell. It takes millions of dollars. I know what it's like. I've been with McCain twice. I am nowhere near making that commitment. I am fully committed, all in representing South Carolina in the United States Senate. And the first thing I want to do is rebuild our military, because radical Islam will not be contained by talking about it. People have to join forces with armies over there, our military, to keep the war over there. I got one simple goal: keep terrorists away from our homeland, fight them over there so we don't fight them here.
Our senior senator for the state of South Carolina, Lindsey Graham. It's a
Thank
pleasure,
you.
sir. Good luck in the 4th.
Vote early, vote often.